What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. I am BDJ. There's a lot of rumors going around the wrestling world. Returns. Who could possibly return? There's a lot of free agents potentially on the horizon with big cash. And the guy I'm going to talk about today, Leon Slater, one of the bright young stars in professional wrestling. We've seen him on WWE TV. If you watch TNA consistently, he's one of the bright young stars there, at least till he leaves. And there's a lot of rumors about him currently and where he might end up. It's obvious he's going to leave TNA. Like, TNA, unfortunately, at this point, is just like developmental for WWE and AEW. Like, everybody they get's eventually just going to leave unless they're just the most loyal person in the world. They're going to go to AEW, WWE. That's just the way it is. Leon Slater, 21 years old. We saw him face Javon Evans at a TNA show. Tremendous match. We saw him team up with Javon Evans against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee on Saturday night's main event. We've seen a lot of them. And this kid's got everything you want. He's a little small, but if he goes to the right place with the right booking in some, area, then they know what to do with him. He can be a big star. Now, the report came out that a lot of AEW talent are pushing Tony Khan and AEW to sign Leon Slater. And you can see why. He's 21. He's very athletic. He seems like he understands the business even at a young age. He just gets it. And AEW, say what you want about how they book and the no selling. Me and QJ have complained about that a lot with the no selling and the overdoing stuff in matches and taking 8-9 finishers to beat a mid-card guy and all that stuff. But they let performers go out there and show out. In WWE, they don't always do that. And you look at the pros and cons of Leon Slater going to AEW. I look at the pros. He would have a good chance of being a world champion. They're way more than he would in WWE. I don't know if he'll ever be a world champion if he goes to WWE. That's just the reality, just due to his size and everything. I just don't know if WWE would ever pull the trigger on that. There's a lot more than, unfortunately, just wrestling that goes into WWE. Are you marketable? Can you cut promos? All that stuff. So AEW, he would have that chance to go there and be in the main event scene, be a world champion, showcase what he can do a little bit more than he would in WWE. And I think that'd really be something he would think about. Like, okay, I go here. I probably wrestle a lot of these guys on the indies. I know a lot of them. They really want me to go there, so I already have support in the locker room. I can go here and put on sensational matches and really showcase at a young age what I can do. And not that WWE hasn't with Javon Evans, but I think Javon Evans' ceiling, unfortunately, at least the way he's booked right now, is probably upper mid-card. That's it. Now, and look, I'm one of the fans who hope Javon Evans is the world champion. I just know how WWE is with some of their booking. Leon Slater could go to AEW. He could have great matches. He could face Will Ospreay and Darby Allin and MJF and Mike Bailey, and the list goes on and on. Ricochet, I think that match got pulled from an indie show. And I don't like Ricochet as a person, but like in ring, if you told me you'd be having Leon Slater against Ricochet on the show, I'm sold. I'm all in. So there's that pro of it. There's also pro of, he gets to go still do his indie stuff. He wants to go and wrestle in the UK or wherever he wants to go. Tony Khan allows that. He wants to go to New Japan and do some matches. WWE doesn't allow that, so you're just wrestling WWE, and that's it. So there's a lot of pros to AEW, but there's also some cons, right? A lot of people go to AEW and WWE as well, but a lot of people go to AEW, and they're a big deal when they show up. They're the biggest deal in the world. They're a big star. They're fighting one of the biggest names in the company. They're attacking them. The crowd pops. But then a few weeks go by. And it's just like, what happened to this person? I mean, we've seen a lot in AEW. Where's Keith Lee been? I know he's had some health issues, but he even posted on Twitter or Instagram a few months ago, like, I'm good. I'm just not being booked. We've seen it with a lot of wrestlers that go there and just disappear. I mean, look at Danhausen. I know he was battling injury, but they couldn't have been using Danhausen to sell some tickets, sell some merch. They weren't even using the guy. So, like, if he goes there, would he get lost in the shuffle? That's what my main concern would be with him, because like they have so many talented wrestlers there. Would he just be another guy on the roster? You know what I mean? Like there's obviously the chance he becomes a main event guy like Kevin Knight is currently. I think Kevin Knight has been booked tremendously in AEW, and I was really high on Kevin Knight when he first became a free agent, because WWE and AEW were in a bidding war basically for him, because they both thought he could be really something special, and AEW's letting him do that. So maybe that's what Leon Slater could do. There's also a chance where he shows up there, has a big debut, they let him go out there, have a few good matches, and then you just kind of forget about him. He's just sitting in the back wasting his early, 20s away. We've seen it with Powerhouse Hobbs, who's 41 now, that he was just sitting there kind of doing hardly anything for 6-7 years. Like, do you want to waste your early 20s if that's potentially what could happen in AEW chilling in the back? And look, the same thing could be happening in WWE, right? We've seen it with Phoenix. He went there, ain't done nothing. Rusev went there. He's doing a little bit more now, but he wasn't doing anything. Aleister Black came back, wasn't really doing much. Ivy Nile, not doing much. Like, there's a lot of talents there as well. So the negative of not being booked a lot definitely could hurt, but he could also go do indie shows outside of that, so he wouldn't really lose his feel for the wrestling and everything. But I also worried that he wouldn't stand out as much there because AEW has so many talented wrestlers that do a lot of the same stuff as him. Not a lot of guys can do a Swanton 450, don't get me wrong, but that kind of style of wrestling, right? Like the high-flying, acrobatic, do all that high-flying, exciting stuff. We see that so much in AEW. So for that audience, would they really pop for him as much? It's a possibility. They know their stuff. They watch other companies. They know what's going on. So it's a possibility they see Leon Slater and they go, oh, man, yeah, we're excited to see this young kid wrestle. But it's also a possibility they're like, oh, yeah, well, he's just doing what everybody else is doing. That would worry me if I was him about signing with AEW, personally. Now, you could go to the positives and negatives with WWE. The positives is he'd probably be making a lot, more rivalries and a lot more headlines in WWE. You know what I mean? Like, he'd be promoted a lot more people would watch him and see him. And I do think that his style, like Javon Evans, will stand out a lot more on WWE TV because you don't see a lot of high flying as much as you used to on WWE. I mean, you still have Dragon Lee and Ray Phoenix and guys like that. We rarely see Ray Phoenix and Dragon Lee. It kind of is what it is with his booking. But I do think he would stand out more in WWE, but his ceiling would be much lower in WWE. That would be like one of the things I would look at. Like, okay, would they make me and Javon a tag team? Would I just be a singles guy? Would I be just the upper mid card, just kind of doing nothing? Like, if I'm Leon Slater and I'm sitting at the negotiation table with both these companies, these are all questions I'm asking because I'm 21 years old, man. I'm 21. And if you're trying to get me to sign a 5-year deal, I think he turns 22 in September. So he'll be 22, pretty much the start of his deal. I'll be 27, still in my prime at the end of it. I want to do stuff now. I don't want to be one of them young guys that are just sitting in the back and learning the business and all this other stuff. He's done it. He's wrestled since he was like, 13, 14? He gets it. We've heard Nick Neiman say on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, he gets it, this kid. So if I'm him and I'm sitting at that table and WWE has one offer and AEW has the other offer, I'm asking all these questions. What are you going to do with me? How is my booking going to be? Do you have plans with me? Are you just going to sign me just to sign me from the other promotion? That's happened a lot. Like, there's a lot of stuff that has to go through Leon Slater's mind when he signs this contract because it's going to be a 3 or 5 year deal. Unless you say, I'm going to sign a 1-year deal and kind of a fill out process, you're going to be locked in long term. Not that it always matters with WWE and TKO because they get rid of a lot of people. But there's pros and cons to both companies, right? And for him, who's been doing it at a high level at such a young age, been TNA X Division champion, I'm still pissed they didn't have him break the all-time record. I guess because he's getting ready to leave. I don't know. But, like, man, this is a big decision for this young man to decide, like, what my future in wrestling is going to look like. Because if he's looking at Javon Evans' booking right now, yes, he's on TV, but it's like, is that what I'm going to be doing? Just kind of in mid-card rivalries, not really doing a lot. In AEW, am I going to just be there? So you got to really look at that. And he's going to get a big money offer. There ain't no worrying about what, company's going to offer him more money because I'm sure both companies are going to be interested. But I do wonder why WWE, and maybe it's because the TNA partnership ended, why they stopped featuring him as much because he was being featured a ton. I know he had visa issues and everything, but it was like one of the things where it's like on your show, like 2-3 weeks in a row, he's getting big, receptions as he keeps being on TV. He'll answer that open challenge and against Carmelo, and he just kind of disappeared. We haven't heard nothing about him. They haven't talked about him. They haven't promoted him. So did his visa get in the way of WWE having bigger plans for him? Did WWE just kind of forget about him already? Did they just kind of sour on him, and that's why the AEW talk's picking up? There's a lot of stuff going around about Leon Slater. Not that any of it's bad. It just makes you wonder. Now, I had some comments on my TikTok saying, oh, you're just, conspiracy theory and stuff. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. We don't know what went on behind the scenes. We don't know what WWE's thinking right now. Maybe they thought, okay, this guy is just too small for us. We'll feature him a little bit. We don't really see a future for him here. We don't know. But WWE is in a spot right now where they're trying to push younger talent. And this is the youngest talent you're going to get right now that's already had the training, is seasoned as a competitor, has already had them big matches, understands the business. You can get all these people in the performance center, and half of them won't have a clue how much you got to do in wrestling compared to Leon Slater. So AEW and WWE both right now both need young main event stars because they're both pushing wrestlers who have been there forever. Not that Kevin Knight's not an example of that, but WWE's trying with Obafemi, but their main event scene is still Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Eventually, you got to pass the torch. And I'm not saying Leon Slater's going to be a main event guy in either one of these companies, but he's somebody you look at like, okay, this is a guy who could be a building block for the next 5, 10, 15 years. He's 21 years old. 15 years, he'll be 36. He won't even be that old. So you really got to plan ahead for this and think, okay, Leon Slater, 21 years old, free agent already, has already been around the world, has wrestled all around the world, has been in TNA. He's already gotten that experience being on television. I think a lot of fans don't take that into consideration as well. When you're on the indies and you go from being on the indie show to a television show, you got to know where the hard cam is. And you got to know about times and all this other stuff. He's done all that. So none of this is going to be a worry. It's just about what Leon Slater wants to do with his career. Maybe he does both. Maybe he signs with WWE and goes to AEW in a few years or vice versa. That's a possibility. Well, he's so young, he has these options. So it's up to him at this point to decide, what do I want to do at this stage of my life at 21 years old, about to be 22 in a few months? Do I want to go to WWE and test it out there and see what I can do there? And if it don't work out, I go to AEW. Do I want to go to AEW for, let's say, a 3-year contract, see what I can do till I'm 24, 25 years old, and then I go test in WWE? Maybe I make a bigger name for myself. A lot of interesting options here for Leon, and I'm excited to see what the next step of his career is because I think this kid is a star. I mean, I watched a lot of his indie work. I watched him, face Moose for the X Division Championship. That was a tremendous match. Like, the future is bright for this young man, Leon Slater. Like, he's gonna have a hell of a career. It's just about what creative is gonna have for him, what that choice is gonna be. Yes, you can have all the support in the locker room you want. But at the end of the day, what does creative have for me? I could be cool with everybody in that locker room. I could go dab everybody up and hug everybody and be cool with everybody. But at the end of the day, what does TKO have for me? What does Triple H have for me? What does Tony Khan have for me? Why am I signing with your company? I'm one of the youngest free agents out there right now that have already had all this experience. Why should I sign with you? And look, WWE's a good business. I'm sure they told a lot of people, yeah, we're going to do this with you. We're going to put you in this. And you sign the paper, and all that goes away. TKO does not give a damn. So we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down below, where do you guys want to see Leon Slater sign? WWE or AEW? Let me know your reasons for it, because I'm curious what everybody thinks about it, because it's a very fascinating thing. And if you watch WWE, you might not know a lot about Leon Slater. You might think, why is this guy such a big deal? Go watch some of his indie matches. He is a tremendous talent. And we'll just have to see what the future holds. If you guys like gaming content, me and QJ are always cooking up some gaming content, right? We got MLB The Show and Naruto and NBA 2K, and the new Batman Lego game comes out, which I'm already playing it early. I'm going to be trying to stream that a little bit. We'll see. Check out our channels in the description below. We're also on Spotify-LTQ Wrestling Podcast. If you're like me and you like listening to your podcast, because I work overnights, I have my earbuds in, and I'm like, what do I want to listen to? Do I want to listen to some music? Do I want to listen to some podcasts? We're also on there too, so don't worry about that. Make sure to like and subscribe for more wrestling content down below. We are trying to do a podcast episode this week. I'm trying to get Tears on. Me and QJ are both off Fridays. I'm going to try to make it happen. It's been a minute since we've all three been on a podcast episode. I mean, it's probably been at least 6 months. So I'm going to try to make it happen. We'll see if it does. We're also at the SmackDown review up tomorrow. Hopefully QJ is able to make that. And we'll just keep cooking up the content for y'all. So make sure to like and subscribe for more LTQ Wrestling Podcast content. Peace.